They say experience is the best teacher, and investing has definitely showed that to me. I have been investing since I was 20, and I've made many mistakes. Some have cost me money, and others have cost me time. But the good thing is that you can learn from them, and hopefully you can build wealth faster than I did. Today, I want to go over the biggest investing mistakes that I've made in my 20s and what I would do differently if I was to start over. I started investing the year I turned 20, which sounds early, right? But honestly, I wish I started even earlier. Just 2 extra years of compounding can lead to huge differences over the long run. And I know, you might say, Leon, I didn't even have a job back then that could fund my investing. But actually, the earlier you start, the less of your own money you actually need. Here's an example. At a 10% annual return, if you invested $120 a week for 30 years, then you would end up with just over $1 million. But if you just started 10 years earlier, then you would only need $45 a week to achieve roughly the same amount. That's the power of time in the market and not timing the market, which I will explain later. Now, you may say, Leon, I don't have any money to invest. Well, you can look for small ways to make some extra income, like find a part-time job, or you can deliver food in your spare time. For me, I walk dogs in my free time. It's a great way for me to stay active, and I get paid for it. When I started investing, I thought I was special and better than other investors. I thought I could outperform the market and find the next Tesla or Amazon. Spoiler alert, no I couldn't. I wish instead of spending the time of picking individual stocks, I wish I just started with index funds from the get-go, like the S&P 500 or NASDAQ. ETFs are a great way to get diversified exposure to the markets. I think the statistic is like 90% of individual stocks don't end up beating the market over the long run. Warren Buffett said it best. He said that we should be okay with accepting average returns. Funny enough, investing in these so-called average index funds produces above average results in the long run. Another big mistake, I wasn't consistent. In my early years, I would invest just once or twice a year, just when I felt like it or when I thought it was the market bottom. Otherwise, my money would just be sitting there doing nothing. That's when I learned about DCA, or dollar cost averaging, which is a simple yet powerful strategy. The idea is that you would buy regularly no matter what the markets are doing. And naturally, this means that you would buy more of a stock when the market is low versus when the market's high, you would buy less of a stock. And this would average your book cost in the long run. Turns out that if you timed every single market bottom perfectly, then that strategy, which is sometimes referred as God's timing, would still underperform DCA 70% of the time. I linked the article to that down below. So instead of waiting for the perfect time, just start and be consistent. This builds wealth steadily and with less stress. And finally, one of the hardest lessons for myself was constantly comparing myself to others. I used to compare myself with other investors and see them with 6-7 figure portfolios generating thousands a month in distributions or capital appreciation. And I would think, man, I'm so behind, or I'll get so discouraged. But everyone's situation is different. Different goals, different risk tolerances, different timelines. Comparison really is the thief of joy. This applies to all aspects of life, and the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is your past self. As long as you are improving, then that's what matters. And that's a blessing, and you should be encouraged by that. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we all need to learn how to run it at our own pace. At the end of the day, investing is a lifelong journey. You're going to make mistakes, I still do, but the key is to learn from it and stay invested and keep moving forward. And remember, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and check out my other videos on investing and follow my journey to financial freedom. I'd also love to hear from you guys. What's a mistake that you've learned from, and what have you learned from it? I'll see you guys in the next video.